really a beautiful team. You guys are so on it. So let's jump right in so that we can make the most of our time together. Go ahead to Google Classroom and open up the Unit 1 Task 6 Diffusion Lab. And we are going to start with part 2, which has the pictures of the onion cells, the pictures of the purple cells. Even if you haven't finished part 1, even if you haven't done the pre-reading, I want you just to focus on part 2 today because that's what we're doing in class. And then, catch up time working on part 1, that will be for after school study hall or for Friday academic support day. So everybody should be going to part 2. I'll give you guys a minute to get there and get your science brains ready. And then we will get started talking about that. Nevaeh says it's open. Nevaeh, I didn't even have to ask you to tell me if it was open. You just did it. That is beautiful. So definitely, so that is some TLC behavior. So yes, ladies, let me know when you have it open. Thank you, Nevaeh. Thanks, Quanania. 202 is the best. You guys are on it. No wonder you're leading in the UD Cup. It makes so much sense. But I want to know, do you guys think that you're such a good team because of the members or because of Coach Queen? Like, do you think if you had a different coach, it would be different? Or do you think it's just a good group of girls?
Honestly. Because Queen motivate us, but we also smart. You feel me?
Yeah, Nevaeh says both.
Yeah, it's both because Queen also help, but us together, we just help each other sometimes. Depends on,
That's beautiful. I agree. I think it's definitely a mixture. Not only do you have, I think you guys are so wonderful on your own, but then Queen can really do a good job of like seeing your potential and working, with the strengths that you guys have.
Yeah, Queen definitely put the cherry on the top.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I hope she's listening to this, or we'll be sure to tell her that as well. Okay, sweet. So that was a beautiful little chat. It seems like a lot of you have this open. So I'll give you just a couple more seconds, get task 6 open, and then we can get started. Queen says, you guys make my job so easy. That's so cute. So, so, so cute. Aw, I wish I had a coach.
Haha.
Thanks, Tia. All right, so I'm going to trust that everybody has part 2 open and you're ready to watch this video about the red onion cells. And I think the beautiful Miss Smith is gonna give us a little prep and get us ready to watch this video.
I did this whole experiment last year with the microscope and then the red onion on top of the stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Nevaeh, your answers were pretty correct in the document.
Yeah, for sure. And so Nevaeh, I returned that to you, Nevaeh, just so that if you picked up anything during our class time today, you could add it to that. But it did look pretty good. So that makes sense that you've done it before.
Thanks.
Okay, so as far as this video goes, Nevaeh kind of already gave us a preview. So what we want you guys to look for in this video is what happens to the cells while the video is playing, and what do you think causes this change?
Okay, yep. So focusing on those 2 questions, we'll watch this video. And there's no sound, it's just the visual. So make sure whatever device you're on, make sure you're looking at the screen. Okay, so there is the video. And now we can, how do I get out of this? I never know. Okay, we can start talking. So girls, come off mute or type in the chat. What happens to the cells during the video? What did you know? What did you observe with your eyes? What happened to the cells as time went on?
They got smaller.
Cool, Nevaeh. So Nevaeh says that they got smaller. Who else wants to say something?
They diffused.
So Winnie says they diffuse. Can you explain that a little bit more, Winnie?
Like what Nevaeh said, like they got smaller.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, did they like they didn't just get smaller immediately, right?
They
It was,
also like stop touching the cell wall.
yeah, good. And I think another word for that could be that they were shrinking, right? It was kind of slowly over time, they were shrinking away, they were getting smaller. Yeah, so those are good observations. So what do you think causes this change? Why do you think that they changed like that? Thinking about what we've been talking about in class about transport.
Because water moved out of the cells.
Sorry, what did you say, Angelica?
Said because the water moved out of the cells.
Okay, Angelica says the water moved out of the cells. Okay, does anyone agree with her, disagree with her? Maybe.
I agree.
I agree. It was less water in the cell.
Okay, Miss Smith, do you agree?
I'm inclined to agree.
Beautiful. Okay, ladies, so thanks for watching that video. You'll see in the task, there are photos of this change. So you can see the normal red onion cell. And so what's happening is that the red onion cell goes into a salt solution, and that's where you see that shrinking. And then if you place it back in the distilled water, which has no salt in it, it rinses out that salt, and there's a change. And so what we're going to do now, we're going to take a couple minutes, do a little everybody writes. Everybody's going to write down their answer for number 1 and number 2. And then if you have this B-level task, it looks like this. So the 2 questions immediately under the photos, you're going to write down your answer. And then we're going to come back and share the answer as a group. So again, we see these pictures, that's what you see on the task. So those 2 questions immediately under that is what we are going to answer. And I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. So don't worry, it doesn't need to be a perfect answer. It doesn't need to be completely right. Like just worry about getting those answered. Like just try your best to get them answered. When we come back to talk about it, we'll discuss, and then you guys can revise your answers if you need to. But please give me a thumbs up on Zoom or something in the chat when you're ready to write those answers. And if you have no idea what's going on, please tell me so that I can explain this better.
I did everything, so I'm just waiting.
Angelica's like, I already did this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm waiting too.
Okay, so some of you might have already did this. And so in this 2 minutes, if you've already done this, go ahead and read over your answer. Make sure you like it. Make sure, you know, if there's something you could explain more, add more, things like that. And if you haven't answered, we're going to take those 2 minutes to get started and write this out. Why did we say that it happened again? Winnie, some of the answers that they said that water left the cell. But think about it. So salt, they get placed in a salt solution, and you know, start brainstorming and thinking about how would that impact the cells. And they said that it had something to do with water. So okay, I'm gonna do my 2-minute timer. So hopefully you guys are ready. I'll give you a couple more seconds to get ready. Again, we're either writing out the answers to those questions, or we are revising, thinking about the answers that we already wrote. So here we go, 2 minutes on the clock and go. That did not go well. Okay, there we go. Okay, you guys can start writing, take these 2 minutes, and then we'll come back together to discuss answers 1 and 2. Okay, 10 more seconds, get your writing out, then we'll come back and discuss those answers together. Okay, so let's talk about it. So I think what's going to happen is me and Miss Smith are just going to randomly choose a couple people to read us their answers, and we can talk about it. So Miss Smith, do you want to go ahead?
How about Angelica?
So Angelica, what'd you write for number 1?
The cell started to shrink away from the cell wall.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Did anyone have a different answer, or does anyone want to share what they wrote for number 1? So the cells definitely start to shrink away from the cell wall. Anything else? Okay, yeah, and I think that's a really great answer. And that's what we observed with our eyes. And so if you didn't answer question 1, again, this is part 2. So I'll show you where these answers are. I'll screen share again. So we're looking at the questions right below the pictures. Describe the changes observed in the red onion cell after it was put in the salt solution. And Angelica just gave us a beautiful answer. They're shrinking away from the walls of the cell, or from the membrane of the cell. So they're shrinking, they're getting smaller. Go ahead and answer. If you haven't answered it already, type that in for number 1. And then, uh-oh. I think we lost somebody. We'll see. I don't know who that was.
Looks like Terica.
Erica. Okay. Hopefully she gets back in. So yeah, we're answering this first question. So everybody, can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready to talk about the second question? So give me a thumbs up if you have an answer for the first question. Nevaeh's like, please, I already did this. Good. Okay, you guys, so thumbs up if you're done with question 1 and you want to talk about question 2. So Latia, Winnie, Quanania, thanks Angelica. Juana and Angelise, can I get a thumbs up if you answered question 1? Thanks, Juana. Thanks, Quanania. Thanks, Latia. Okay, Angelise and Winnie. Let's see. Angelise says I did. Winnie, give me a thumbs up. Oh my gosh, everybody just is so engaged, and you guys all just answered that. So thank you so much. Okay, so now I'd like to hear from, I want to hear from Juana. Juana, what did you write for question 2? Do you have an answer for question 2?
No.
No. Okay, Juana, do you want to call on a teammate and have them read their question 2? You can choose anybody.
I don't know.
Okay, no worries. I'll choose somebody for you. So how about Angelise? Do you have an answer for question 2? And if you don't, it's all good. You can just say I don't have an answer yet. Hi, Terica. Glad that you got back in. And Alexandria's coming in too. Okay, hi, Alexandria. We'll send you a private message explaining what we're working on. But okay, how about Latia? Can you read us your answer to number 2?
Yeah. The water absorbed the salt, which made the cell shrink, and there is less water content in the cell.
Okay, so Ms. Smith, how does that sound to you?
Pretty well. You addressed that the water was pulled out and that the salt was being added. So yeah, the water content and all goes down.
Okay, good. So everybody should have now answer to question 2 as well, about the water content, similar to what Latia said. So Latia, could you read that to us one more time?
The water absorbed the salt, which made the cell shrink, and there is less water content in the cell.
Oh, quick thing. The water didn't really absorb the salt, but the salt did pull the water out of the cell. Just one slight correction.
Okay. You said the water pulled the salt out of the cell?
The reverse, the salt pulled the water out of the
Salt pulled the
cell.
water, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just leave my answer? I put water without the cell causing the cells to shrink. I put the because of the salt thing to add in more.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna give everybody just one more minute to write their answers for question 2. So take a minute to have those done. Tia's watching a fun show. Kind of jealous.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's good. Sometimes the background noise is nice. Makes me feel like I'm with other humans and not just alone in my house. Okay, so again, let's have that good participation again. If you are done with question 2, can I get a thumbs up or a message in the chat? Cool. Angelica, Nevaeh, Winnie, Juana. I'm gonna cry. I love this. Quanania, Nevaeh, yes. Angelise, did you get an? Angelise says done. Terica give a thumbs up for question 2. Man, I could cry. You guys are doing awesome. So awesome. Okay, so let me get my slides back. Okay, and so we have about 15 minutes left together, and this will just be time for independent practice. And you should use the time. If you're all caught up, you can go ahead to those analysis questions. There are 6 of them. And it has to do with the red onion cell stuff and thinking about that interaction between the salt and the water. But also, if you maybe are a little behind and you haven't finished part 1 or this table, you could work on that as well. So this will be independent time. Me and Ms. Smith will be in your documents checking to make sure that everything is looking good. But please, 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 let's be good self-advocators. If you have a question or need help or want us to check something, come off mute and talk about it or type it in the chat. Anything else to add, Ms. Smith?
Just to make sure you do the pre-lab questions too. So this is just time to work on any section you haven't finished or need to catch up on.
Yeah, because when we started this, we skipped the pre-lab because that's for you guys to do on your own. And the pre-lab looks like this. There's a short reading, and then you have to define some of these key terms. And for the level B, it looks like this, just same thing, short reading, key terms. Good, thanks for saying that, Ms. Smith. So yep, ladies, it's time for you to work on whatever you need to for this. I think for those of you that submitted already, maybe just take this time, make sure everything is complete, make sure everything is to your satisfaction. Have me and Ms. Smith check it over, but if you're ready to turn it in, that is wonderful. Okay, and I will shut up and let you guys work now. So talk to us if you have any questions. Thank you, Angelica.
But I was gonna ask, can one of you guys